First off, I just want to introduce Mr. Jason Hansen. He's Vice President of the School Board, and he's part of our negotiating team. Ms. Ross has some conflicts tonight, so he's sitting in. The next, I guess I have to hold it. The next item is the approval of the agenda. Does it look all right to everyone?
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Wall. The next thing that I wanted to address is just to make sure that we all agree how much money is available, right? 3.5 million is what we're agreeing on?
Correct.
Okay, thank you. And I think also at the end of last meeting, Mr. Fay and Mr. Reep talked about getting together, or we talked about getting together and talking about resolving the difference in the cost of the proposals. And I'm understanding that that didn't happen, is that right?
Between schedules, that did not happen. And
Tough weeks.
Yep.
Okay, so that didn't happen, and understandable. So I'm wondering, I just wanted to take a look at that right now, and we all have an interest, and we're all concerned with what those proposals cost. So I just asked Mr. Reed to prepare a handout, have us all take a look at it, and then I'm going to ask him to recap the funds. If we can have that handout here. Thank you.
Clearly not enough, but it's better.
This is going to be Vince here. He's going to need that.
Okay, Mr. Fay and I have talked about quite a few pieces of this, but we didn't get back together to kind of recap it. So this is the review that I'll provide tonight. The first bullet lists the teacher expenditures for 13-14, and the source of that is the July 1 board expenses report. The second bullet is what the board has budgeted for 14-15, and that includes the board proposal that is on the table. And the source for that, you can look at the November 1 board expenditure budget.
Mr. Reep, can I ask on the first one, is that $13,395,000 strictly line item 110 and 111?
That's correct.
Okay.
Yep. And that's a good point, Jim. And so is the second bullet. It's just those. It does not, and what Mr. Fay is referring to, it doesn't include stipends or substitute teacher salaries and some of those items. So then the third bullet is the board increase. If you go from 13-14 to what's in their budget now, that's a salary increase of $1,497,520. And then after that, then I took, and I'll get to that point, but then I took what the DEA proposal was, and Jim and I went through that. That was over 3 weeks ago, but I showed him on the salary schedule that it's 1.1 million and then career increments, and in fact there's a breakdown of that down below so that you can see the pieces of that add up to the 1,251,000. So if you add those two numbers together, the total dollars that includes the board offer and then beyond what the DEA has proposed, you have the 2.7 million. As I said 2 weeks ago and prior to that, it does include the new positions, and there's 21 new positions. But from a budget standpoint, it's from the 13,395,000 to the additional 2,749,000. So that being said, then if you budgetarily you have to apply the salary and benefits. You see the first bullet item that's indented. Those are the costs for TFFR, Social Security, and our long-term disability plan. And those total 20.66%. Health increases for teachers. The number we used 2 weeks ago was 250,000. I did an actual run on that earlier this week. It was pretty good in that it was an estimate. The actual is 249,753. So I left it, and that's health insurance increases including the new people that came on, and keep in mind there's a lot of flex within health if people switch from single to family, or you have a qualifying event during the year, that could change that budget. But it's a pretty solid number for just the, I took out administrators, classified, counselors, everybody else, just those people that are represented on the salary schedule. So the total, once again, and it's the same as it was 2 weeks ago, is $3,567,258. That is salary and benefits. So with that, I'll take any questions.
Mr. Reep, that 54, and I'm going back to the number that I used to come up with my numbers, which was your 54,000. That is just salary?
54,000 includes benefits.
For every $100. What benefits does that include?
These that show here. Except for health insurance.
Except for health insurance.
The number, if you take a salary schedule, I think the exact number for salary schedule, career increments, and extracurricular is, I think it's $44,150.
Okay.
And then when you put the benefits, including health insurance, that 54,000 was that rounded number. I think the actual, and I said this a couple weeks ago, was 245. But all I did was to get to the 1.2, you see the math below, I just ran the spreadsheet with the DEA's base of 36,250, added the 1.1 in index, the additional 4785 in career increments, the additional 32,000 in extracurricular, and then the second part of the DEA proposal to unfreeze vertical steps from 2010-9-10. I actually, and I shared this with Mr. Fay, had to go back and count how many teachers that were frozen then that are still here now, and consider, if both sides agreed, an additional step. I think we saw that there were 32 of them. There was 118 originally back in 9-10, but there's 32 now who could actually take a step. Some people could have then, but now they're at the top, and so.
I'm still a little confused, honestly, because I took our salary schedule again and figured it by $54,000 and came up with the 2.295 million, and that includes extracurricular, career increments, TFFR, FICA, LTD, everything except for health insurance. And the health insurance increases that we estimated was, that we know for sure, was $78 that your share increased for a family per month based upon my paycheck that I just looked at from this last month. So, and when the information we got from central office said that there's 196 people, 136 families who take that, and 60 singles. So being generous, we took $80 times 196, and we got $188,160.
Right. What you aren't considering are new positions, and people that have switched within health.
But the number we got from central office was just yesterday?
Yesterday.
Just yesterday.
So them new positions should be in there,
They should
right?
already be in there.
They are, and
So,
I ran the 13-14 health database that Cindy has, and took the total expenditures from 13-14 to 14-15 as of today, and that number is $249,753. And I can print that out and provide it to you.
That's the total expenditure though, or just the increase?
That's the increase. That's the increase of teachers for health insurance.
So is 196 the total number that take that health insurance?
I didn't see those numbers, but if they came from Cindy, I would guess you're correct.
So at the 136 family times 80, and we took all 196. I mean,
As families.
As families.
To be generous.
As a $80 increase, which we know that.
Did you get the 13-14 numbers from her?
We asked her for current year.
Yeah, but see.
So that'd be
So
14,
what I-
15.
what I-
I'm comparing
what I did is I took
14 to-
I took my family
Correct.
health insurance, which went from, was $872 your share to $860 your share, which was $78. And if that was my family share, I would assume that was the other 136 family share.
Because a family's a
Increase.
family, correct?
The
Policy.
board share of a family plan, if you're full-time, is $11,520.
For a year.
Yeah,
It's not, I think it's $960. It went up from, it went at $78. It went up from $882 to $960
A month.
a month, which was a $78 increase per month. Per month.
Yeah.
But we took the 196 times 78 times 12 and came up with $188,160.
you're not including the change in staff.
Which change in staff?
There's 262 FTEs according to the salary schedule that you emailed out.
These numbers include all of the expenditures for teachers in 13-14 compared to what we currently have. So if we had new teachers, that came on.
Would that number not have come over in that 196 then? If we asked for that number, should that number have not come over?
If you got 13-14, you would have. You have to compare it back to 13-14. If you're looking at an increase.
Because if we're just looking at increase, we're looking at $78 per family, and there's 136 families and 60 individuals. And we figured everybody at the family increase and came up with $188,000.
I can print it for you. It will list the names and the people that had health in 13-14, the teachers, took the administrators, classified, counselors out, had that total number, and then printed it as of today, and that number is $249,753. It's in our database. It's in the accounting system database.
I'm just wondering if you guys understand then where the frustration comes in when we get a number and we come here and now they're different. And that's why, Vince, we've gone back to this email and I guess I'm going to read it word for word. This was October 21st from you. It says, Brian, attached is the latest salary schedule spreadsheet with a copy of last year's 13-14. As you can see, the board proposed 14-15 schedule has an index of 42.9704 or approximately 45,000 per 100 on the base when you add extracurricular, career increments, etc. to the cost, or about 54,000 per 100 when you add TFFR, FICA, and LTD. Health insurance costs are not included. So these are the numbers we use because according to this, everything's in there but health insurance, okay? And so that's where, if you look at the spreadsheet that I just passed out to all of you, we put the current base spreadsheet on there, and we put the 262 FTEs that it says at the top of your spreadsheet that was emailed on the 21st in each one of these. We've got the board's proposal and the DEA proposal, and it runs through and gives the cost of salary, the cost of benefits per 100, the total cost of benefits, total cost of salary, and the differences. The bottom difference is what our proposal costed out at, and the far right-hand column gives $2.485 million with the 190 in increased health insurance. And it was actually a member of our health insurance committee that contacted Cindy to get that information so that they were somebody that's familiar with health insurance to get them numbers. So that's why these numbers came directly from Cindy for this school year. So the increase for this school year would be the $80 per family and the 196 premiums, so it's 190,000 difference. That's why I don't understand how we're off 50,000 there, 60,000 almost,
Or $1 million.
or $1 million on the other offers.
It's because of the new positions.
But the new positions are already in there. They're figured out at the 262 FTEs.
They're not in the 13-14 budget.
But we did figure out the 32,000 with the 262 FTEs. We figured it out with that.
We did it both ways, off of the two salary schedules that came from you, Vince, with the 244, excuse me, and 262. And there isn't that much difference.
695,000.
Yep.
based upon the
Not-
number we put in here.
not
Obviously,
over $1
that's
million.
not actual numbers, but that's the number that we put in the salary schedule based upon what you've given us.
The numbers that you have, that I just handed out are right from the board reports.
So why are they so different than before?
It would have been helpful, as I told you, Jim, before, we left, that the first time we met, it'd be helpful to go over that together so that we can see it.
Well, frankly, I'm gonna be blunt and honest here. We wanted to do that in meeting number 1, and we were told we are not going to follow that model, collaborative bargaining. That was a quote-unquote from Leslie Ross. We do not intend to follow that model.
Now, if we're going to verify the numbers, that would be important.
That's why we have a resource, and that's why we've asked for the information.
Right.
And the information says 54,000. 54,000 is what we ran here. And I'm sorry, I'm getting a little emotional, but it's my reputation.
Yeah.
And I know it's yours as well.
And I'm still good with that 54,000. I'm not changing those numbers.
So
But it's-
54,000, well,
but it's
take
a
a look at
matter
our-
of how we're both calculating it differently, Jane.
Do you guys, should we just take a break and have you guys just meet for a few minutes right here, or he can go print off what you want,
I'm standing by my numbers, Chris, because
Okay.
we're going to 54,000. And I just don't know how we can be that far off when I'm looking at the numbers based upon 262 FTEs, which is what we say we have right now. And so we figured it at the 32,000 current base. We figured it at the 33.5 DEA, or excuse me, board proposal, and the 36,250 DEA proposal. And I don't know how you come up with 3.570 when we come up with 2.485. That's $1 million.
Because when the base was 32, there weren't 262 teachers.
Correct, but we
We have a-
figured the number out here
I
with
understand
262
that. I see
teachers.
how you've done it.
Yeah, yeah.
It's just a different way of doing it. But
So even if we went back to 244 and put the 244 with 32,000, it's $695,000 difference, not $1 million.
And we had math teachers check this that are our calculus teachers, and their numbers are right. Our spreadsheets were run in Excel, so I don't know how 2 Excel programs can operate so differently.
And I understand the confusion in the public right now, and the email that you sent out to our staff, because it just doesn't match.
Right. I hear what you're saying. I mean, I understand what you're saying. I can see the point.
Thank you.
All right. What I just said is I can see Mr. Faith and Mr. Wall's point. We're figuring it out a little bit differently, and that may not be something that can be resolved right here. However, if I can just go back, we still agree that there's $3.5 million available.
Yes, we do.
Okay. So now, if I can, looking at your proposal, it's more than the available money. Your proposal is 3.566? No, it's not.
2.485.
2.485, and we
That's
stand
what we
by.
stand by that.
So I guess my question to the board would be, does the board have another offer? I guess we came with an offer on the second meeting, and we've waited a couple meetings to see if the board had another offer for us. And so
I want to be able to explain that a couple of our board members have had some pretty serious things happen, and I wasn't able to get the whole board together until that special meeting we had. And I just want you to understand, I didn't feel that that we should make a decision without all the board members weighing in. So that can be part of the delay, and I should have communicated it all to you, but some of it is rather upsetting in private, so I didn't want to bring it all out in public.
That's perfectly fine.
So, just so you understand, we're not stalling.
And we don't need details,
Yep.
about their personal lives. That's,
Just so you I just
Yep.
want you guys
Yes.
to understand
Yep, I
that,
understand.
okay?
The board did meet 2 weeks ago, the day after the last negotiating meeting, so the full board had input. And just so you know, we have heard concerns on, recruiting and retention and, all that thing. So we did sit down, and we had a lengthy discussion, what we can do, where we can come up with things, and help out. And obviously, we can't go as far as you wish we could, but we did come up with an offer tonight that we hope you would agree with. It meets some of those needs, concerns, and so forth. So I'll let Chris go through that.
Okay, so we do have a proposal, and Mr. Reap will hand that out just while I'm making a couple preliminary comments, and then I want to walk through it with you while you have it in your hand. Last year, there was a 10.86% raise, and this is an additional 7.78% increase over that, which gives you a total 18.64% increase over the 2 years. Does everybody have a copy of the proposals? Of the table? Okay. I just want to go through this and give you a little bit. First, we increased the calculating base salary by $200, which gives you a calculating base salary of $33,700. Next, for steps 0 through 6, we gave a 2% index increase, and that touches 98 teachers in the district. Then third, we moved the first year teacher salary to $41,114, which is a 7.1% increase from last year. That also represents a 2.2% increase over the board's first proposal for a beginning teacher salary. This is the highest beginning teacher salary, or higher teacher beginning salary, than Minot, which is experiencing really similar challenges that we are here in our community, Mandan and Fargo and several others. Fourth, we increased career increments, $136 per increment. And we think this will address the concerns of veteran teachers. And then fifth, there are increases for coaching and advising salaries.
So after sitting down with that, the board felt it was a reasonable offer, addressed many of the concerns. As you know, what we're working with new money and so forth, we thought that was pretty fair.
Recruiting and retention is a concern not only of the teachers, but it's a large concern of the school board and, of course, the school district. So with that, I want you all to just take a look at it. And
can I ask one question?
Yeah.
And it's probably, you've addressed the 98 at 0 through 6, and you've addressed the career increment people.
Mm-hmm.
How many people fit that 7 through 15 that would not feel any additional cost and any additional number?
The 200.
well,
But they're getting that same, everybody else is getting that same.
right, they will get an increase because everybody's getting an increase, and that rolls through. And as you get further along the salary schedule, of course, your increases are more. But you want to know how many? Mr. Reap, you know
Yeah,
about?
we're in between that.
162
That are in
minus 98.
No, but then you got how many at the career increments?
There's 29 this year and 47 the following year.
So
It
20,
changes every
just for
year.
people who can't hear, do you want to say it in the mic?
29.
29.
There are 29 people that are eligible for a career increment.
29 are eligible for
In
the career
14,
increment
15.
this school year.
And 40 or 20,
47 next year if all staff.
so a total of 76 at
Yep.
20 did you say would affect the
88.
beginning salary?
88.
98?
Right,
Yeah.
but there's 88 in the middle.
98.
Okay.
98?
98 on the 0 through 6.
Yeah, so there's 88 in the middle that won't see that additional benefit either in a career increment or a .2 or .02 increase.
Other than the
Is that right?
200 on the base, right?
Right.
But that's with everybody. That's on everybody. So I'm having 88 people I've got to go through and tell that you're not going to get anything additional that everybody else is going to get a benefit from. So I'm having 88 people.
Does not include the proposal
Well, our last proposal gave a 17.56% increase over the 2 years. And then this is on top of that for the returning teachers. That would not include the new staff, new teachers.
We're going to take about a 5-minute caucus and we'll be back.
So we'll be in just a short recess while the DEA has a caucus. Thank you. Take your time.
Thanks.
Plenty of time.
He's using, okay, you have FTEs that weren't here. You can't do your calculation.
Yeah, 262. And he says he just took them out, but he did. Yeah, he's 262 on both lines.
Here's the actual.
I bet they didn't ask Jerry Schwartz about it because he would have seen it right
He doesn't have,
I think so. He's here.
he doesn't have extracurricular salary scales.
You can pinpoint what they're off if it comes up
Well,
here.
he's using this.
So do you think that did he not get the OT salary?
We're not going to debate this anymore.
I think you know what, it really doesn't matter.
We can do it. That's what we can do. Yeah.
You're $500,000
Yeah, because I said it right here. That's an increase of 18.6%. I might even say return, but that would be it's not going to get new teachers as the teachers.
That's the problem.
That's not really much, right? That's not half a million. It's kind of the other half.
$299. And then this number is not even close to
So you mean what they spend?
the budget for this year. And that's the number that they're using is
No, but that's what you're saying. That would be.
But this is what we budgeted. And you need to get that. Ask him what's in this. But the
didn't get it. Is that 18.6 per store? What those guys are getting? Where it's not them. But the ones you're saying that don't get it, it's going to be about 46 in that 18.6. But isn't that 18.6 overall? Add up the total of everybody, divide by all last year's.
Well, there's all these other things in here that aren't included.
Yeah, so some aren't getting those like that, so they wouldn't have to. Okay. So that is. But that includes. But that's some of them are going to be 18.6. No, exactly.
This is just our total.
Yeah, so some of them are going to get less than that. So when we talk about collaborative, yeah, exactly. So this is their resource officer. It doesn't matter if we go collaborative bargaining or not, right? So to sit down with Vince is not breaking.
They try and hammer the.
And they bring up we're not doing collaborative bargaining, we're just Vince's resources to both sides. That's not nothing to do with collaborative bargaining. I can bring it up. I can play dumb sit out. I've never bargained either way. But either, if you want me to. If it comes up.
Let's see if they bring it up, and then we'll get into that.
Yeah, it's really, we have to, I can't remember which years.
It's 209 this year. So that's the 209 is
Probably, yeah, because he's going to be afraid of what years. And I wonder, why is Jim's numbers wrong? And they're all pissed off.
But I wasn't looking at their stuff because I thought,
You got it all figured out?
well, it's extracurricular program.
I got it on my, I got it written down for Abby.
And they'll say it's from Mr. Reed's email. That was in reference to the index. I'm going to tell Jim that because I was the one that they were
But isn't that still in the 54,000 we're talking about? Well, it's not.
That's only on salary schedule index.
Okay. So this is okay. So we're at 7,000. That's 750,000 or something.
See,
That's about $765,000, right?
Wow. Is that what the difference is?
We have these two numbers about 765,000, and then the 300,000. There it is, right there.
You got it?
Yeah, you're 300,000 there, right? And that's 765,000 there. That's $1 million.
165.
No, this is 765. Those two numbers, current increments, extra curricular. And he just said that's not in that 54,000. See, they're going to be pissed because that's not added. No, I know. But that's,
Well, I think he, and my point would be that we think that he answered the question.
Clarify exactly what's in
What's in
it.
this?
So you're telling us it's important.
Right.
okay, do you want us to bring this up, even if they don't go towards this, or?
No. I don't think we're going to.
Oh, exactly.
What I got, Doug. My present from last time.
So that'd be $1 million right there.
So you got the 765 plus what equals $1 million?
Well, here, look at Doug's sheet. This right here, that you can't use new money at 265. 262. It was, what was it, 240 something?
It was like 241, I think.
So
Vince can
241.
give you the exact number. I think it's 21.
So it comes out to be about 300,000. You can't take 262. That last year was 242, so that number was maybe 300,000 or so less. Plus the 765 right here. That comes up to be roughly $1 million.
That's the difference. Well, I was getting to
Well, Vince said these two numbers aren't in that 54,000.
I see in my email to him, now, let me check your math. Let me make sure.
I'm not sure. I couldn't figure it out. It's that 14 million.
Okay, what?
She has a sign-up sheet going around. I don't know that it gets to everybody.
How they get to 14 million? How do they take times 20?
Okay, if you take 55,
Well, last time I just sat here and said, did you say this? Did you say, you know? I mean, it's moving. Let me know when you're kind of settled and ready.
Yeah,
Okay?
thank you.
He's not 100% sure. He's still Let's ask him.
Yeah, we'll just ask it, and then you guys can figure it out.
I would have to check.
If we need to.
Yeah, if we need to get
If we need to. Are you guys ready?
Negotiations are back in session. If everyone could just please settle down, quiet down, and we'll turn it back over to Mr. Wool. I believe it's your turn.
Okay, we have met and discussed this, and our biggest concern is we worked very hard in the last negotiating session to make sure that all of these cells in the salary schedule were equal, and we worked very hard to get them numbers there and put a lot of money and time into making sure that was right, and now all of a sudden we're going to make them unequal, and we bargain for everybody, not for a small group. So at this point, we can't accept that proposal, but we do have a counter proposal for you.
Thank you.
Our counter proposal is we are taking our number 2 off of the first proposal, which was the unfreezing them 38 teachers, because we do bargain for everybody. And we are willing to drop to a 35.5 calculating base, which puts a first-year teacher at 42.6. And that leaves our salary schedule so that all of our lane changes are equal and the salary steps are equal, so that there is equality throughout the whole salary schedule.
Mr. Wall, do you got what the total dollar amount offhand what that would be?
No, I don't right offhand.
I
Mr.
actually
Fay
do.
is working on it right now.
I actually do. The dollar amount according to the $54,000, which would not include the health insurance, is 1.89 million increase. And then, of course, then you'd have to take the remainder of the health insurance increase, which we stand at $190,000.
And this would also free up that 38,000 for them other ones that were frozen to put back into salaries then for everybody.
Mr. Fay, does that include all costs, like the co-curricular schedule?
That was
Anything
the
else?
$54,000, which
That's it?
according to Mr. Reep's email, includes everything except for health insurance.
On the index, does,
Correct. But there was, we asked, again, going back to this again, $54,000 to the budget for every $100 to the base. So my math here is it's $100 increases times 54,000, or 35 times 54,000 is 1.89. And then you add.
so that I can understand your spreadsheet, Jim.
Sure.
So you're on the second, the middle proposal with, or go to the DEA one, 36, a base of 36,250, then you're multiplying that times 54,000,
Absolutely.
okay? And so then you break it into hundreds, the 362.5 is then taken times 54,000.
With 300, there's 362.5 bases. Yes, hundreds.
Groups of 100.
Yep, times the 54,000 is the 15,513,927. That's how we came up with that number. And then we said, okay, that doesn't include health insurance. We figured out what a high estimate for health insurance was, which we figured at $190,000, which was at 2.485 million. So now we go back down to the other one that we just proposed to you, and I'm talking 1.89 million using that exact same math with the $190,000 on, puts it 2.03 million.
And once again, I can see, some differences in how we got to those numbers. One of them, and I'll, let me run your spreadsheet and see. I'm sure it's correct, but in the method of how you got there. One difference that I spotted after we had a break right away was we have a difference, where the beginning amount. I use the actual salaries that were spent by the board,
And
the 13 million, and I get how you did it. You put 262 units in there, and so that's another way of doing it.
I just took the salary schedule you sent me, plugged 32,000 in to that salary schedule, and that's what I came up with, was 13,695. And then I took your proposal and stuck it in, and that's what we came up with. And then we stuck our proposal in, and that's what we came up with.
And what I'm saying is, the board did not spend 13,695 in 13-14, and so there's a $300,000 difference right away.
And I would ask where that $300,000 came from then, or went to.
Well,
if
I'm
that-
just
if that
going by
wasn't-
actual numbers, the index and using
That's
how
your
many
payroll?
teachers. I mean, there were different numbers of teachers. You used 262, there weren't, and so there's going to be some differences. I'm sure your calculations are right, but I'm just saying we approached it differently.
For clarification, Vince, the reason we use 262 with the $32,000 base is because that's the contract we're working on right now with
Right.
that number of FTEs.
I understand.
So that's why we use that number to compare apples to apples instead of looking at 244 last year versus 262 this year. So we wanted that number to be what the number is this year. So we're comparing
Right.
Actual staff to actual staff.
And once
So
again,
there is no new staff added because the staff are already there.
And I've said that the numbers on this worksheet does include those, so they're going to be different.
Yeah.
Sure. I want to give us 5 minutes and we'll
Take as long as you
take
need.
5 minutes.
Okay, thank you.
So please take a brief recess for the board.
We'll just meet right here.
There's a classroom open across the hallway if you like.
I think we're good, unless these guys want to move. But
Yeah, if they wanna, you can.
I'm sure it'll be loud enough that we can be able to.
Oh, we'll just stand up and move around.
That's fine.
Give you some privacy.
Where's your costume?
Here's their case,
Oh, the calculated base of 35. 35.5.
Oh, that was at the second meeting?
How far large you guys are. This is,
So we're roughly $1,500 on it. Well, and then what does that 38 people unfreezing that? Isn't that like 2,000 times?
We're not freezing anything.
Yeah, that's.
that doesn't give any additional money because that was in the first proposal.
Well, this is.
Right. Yeah.
This isn't 100 hours. 242 would be what it used to be.
this is the index part, and so I just, this is back on. I estimated that it's about 25,000.
Okay, so how do you get it? So you get 30, you take this 33,500? Times 3,
No, because it's not going to
335 times 262, right? Let's do it times 54,000. 335, 262.65. And then,
But then I want to say, we have our officer addresses every concern that you mentioned, including your retention, whatever I said. Including our shared control.
And this is pretty cool.
So then, I want to say further,
My final action was
is that what I want to say? Further, we have dropped the job we did. We kept money the same. You asked us to be part of the beginning teachers with their salaries. We have done that.
everything is correct.
This is what's in our Lincoln Public Schools, the highest paid school district.
I didn't say that. I can see that. That doesn't make sense. We're not comparing apples to apples.
Because the public schools,
So coming back in, trying to get the teachers, obviously, they're
beginning teacher salary,
there's still veteran teachers, you have everybody will
when
benefit
compared to
sometime.
Well, and keep in mind that the board is offering $1,700 to everybody.
Yeah, the base is on it, yeah. 1,700 is what we got on the base? Yeah. Okay. And they're all available at career records.
People that
that we have presented.
still figuring out that number.
I was looking at that one, okay. All right, so then, I already have those written down. Okay, so after that,
18.1% of the 2 years is 42 million.
Okay. So you take 335. How does that? 260.
Are you telling us this is the full?
Well, that's how many people are.
Yeah, but that should have to be the calculation somewhere.
You guys are doing
That's not the
wait, then we go over here, see what they say. I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to say
So how's your spreadsheet off? Just on rounding?
You need to have these numbers added up first to continue the meeting.
I got 14,183, so that's off by about 250,000.
Well, maybe they put their 189 down or something.
Okay, so here's what we're going to do, Jason. So this is what I'm going to do. Say, thank you for the proposal. I'm going to say, we feel our offer addresses every concern that you mentioned, including our shared concern that recruiting
I still don't think
retention
we
teachers.
want to bring forward. I just think that's I just think bring it forward. Just, I don't know.
You want me to say that?
It's up to you guys. It's up to you.
Well,
Yeah, they're going to hammer the cost because a lot of these people want to hear when they even say they don't even know these things.
we can just go from here and just say, we can start here and go to the school board makes the highest paid teacher, blah, 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 blah. We have presented an extremely fair and reasonable proposal, not including the proposal we just gave you. Over 2 years, returning teachers have an increase. The increase in pay is 70.56%. Now, including the most recent proposal, it's 18.60%.
Everybody?
There's returning teachers. Well, new teachers aren't getting a raise. I mean, they're not getting a raise. They're getting whatever.
So 88, technically, they're not getting 18.60.
No, they haven't touched it.
No.
So the board feels that a raise of 18.60%.
And that reaches everybody on right? Just we put, can we, Doug? We can put in there which reaches everybody on every pay scale.
What?
We put at the end of this, it says then it reaches everybody.
We're not going to care because that's what said is ours.
So we just want to cut this off. We want to say we want to go back talk to the board, or should we just cut it off and see?
We're not saying the impact. They're reasonable. He's got, this is what we're
And then just let them talk.
let them talk for a while. We might want to say, well, that's very interesting. Thank you so much for that information. And then if it's kind of bogging down, we're just going to say, we're just considering this contract, holiday season, blah, 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 blah. What questions you have for us, and you can answer right from tonight.
Well, they're going to see. How does that even come into play? Both sides aren't agreeing. You say that. And it puts us up over any other competitive Class A school. We're well over a lot of other.
They're well over salaries at E-class that we compare ourselves to.
Our competitors, when we're hiring people, we got to do and we beat them. So, you're going to handle that then? You want me to say anything? Or? I'm much better if I handle everything by myself. They're going back and forth. It gets my off track.
It gets him off when we do that, but that's why.
Well, that can, yeah. I'm just.
So, okay. I'm going to go into this. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to go into this. They don't expect to do much of anything, but you got the
sure to say, well,
I'm going to get rid of this.
no, we can,
We don't have to say it. It doesn't matter. Okay, I'm going to say, I'm going to thank him for bringing us a counter offer.
but at the current time,
And I'm going to say, and I can say that the break has given us a lot of that break between negotiating sessions has given out this kind of thing. Yeah, about the future of the district. And we're supposed to that teacher. That's what I think I should say. Whatever. I don't have to. Then I can just say, I want to thank him for that proposal. I'm going to say, I'll offer addresses every concern you mentioned, blah, 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 blah. Then I can say, proposal from a school board gives us the highest paid beginning teacher salary out of Mana Jim Team Fargo West Fargo. Presented extremely fair and reasonable proposal. Not including the proposal we just gave you about the
just offer, not gave. Just offer.
offered. The proposal we just offered to, that we just offered.
Yep.
Not including that. Okay. Now, including the most recent proposal. School board most recent proposal, that's what that is. What are you saying for that? Nothing? You'll say nothing after that.
Yeah, fair enough. Reaches everyone, and it does reach everyone on the salary scale. So they're going to say, they're going to ask us if that's a final offer.
We're going to say we feel that this is an extremely fair and reasonable, that it reaches everyone and addresses all the concerns. And you say that. Answer that question.
Just that it's fair, we think it's fair and reasonable. At this time, this is what we need to do.
We say that you should, we say that at this time, this is extremely fair and reasonable at this time. Say that?
Because they're gonna come back and ask again after she says this, is this the final offer? They're gonna ask after we say it 3-4 times,
Then I think what we do is we go to this. We go to this. Either you or I will say this. We're interested in settling this contract for the holiday season. We want to get this. So we'll go like 2 or 3 times if they ask us that. And then we'll go to this. Then we want to say, do we have one? Ask that question. Ask that question. What questions you have for us that we can answer right here tonight that will settle the negotiation?
I don't think that's hard because if they don't agree, you don't accept theirs, they don't accept ours. So there isn't a question.
Do we want to go into the timeline? Ask Mr. Vince, we're going to ask Vince to go through the timeline? No, we're getting paid here. Okay, all right, just tell them we're ready.
It's got to be bad enough going to 2. You know what I'm saying? Now you got to go from one to now and then go to another one.
I guess the way the schedule has to work.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. I suppose you'd rather be full time than part time too. Yeah.
Bring the negotiation session back to order, please. Thank you. Mr. Wohl, I want to thank you for the counter proposal from the DEA. And we have been sitting here doing some figuring and thinking about it, and taking it seriously. We feel that our offer addresses every concern that you've mentioned, including our shared concern of recruiting and retaining teachers. The proposal from the school board makes Dickinson Public Schools the highest paid beginning teacher salary out of Minot, Jamestown, Mandan, Fargo, and West Fargo. And we feel that we have presented an extremely fair and reasonable proposal. Now, not including the proposal that we just offered you, over 2 years, returning teachers' increase in pay on our first offer was 17.56%. Now, including the most recent school board proposal, that goes to 18.64%.
The board feels that a raise of 18.64% is extremely fair and reasonable, and it reaches everyone on the salary schedule.
I just said it.
So my question is, how is that 17.56 figured over that 2 years? Because when we looked at dollar amounts in raise, is that figuring TFFR and all of that in there, or is it just salary dollars?
Just salary.
Just to answer that, that's just salary, and I'll let Mr. Reap explain.
To get those numbers, what I had to do was go back to 12-13 and then jump forward to 13-14 last year. And there were 193 teachers that were in both years, and so I ran their actual salaries, not including benefits, all coaching, extracurricular, career increments, and that's where the 10.86, that was the actual raise for those 193 teachers that were able to calculate in both years. This past year, from 13-14 to the last board proposal, there were 209 teachers that returned of the 262. And so with the board's second proposal tonight, that went from 6.7 to 7.78. So that's how I got to that number. And I have a list of those teachers. I had extra copies made, thinking if we got together I could share I have them in my binder, the names of the staff members and which ones they were. I went through it a couple times because the first run I made at it, I had one counselor that slipped in there, and even though they followed the schedule, I took that person out.
Can you show us how you had or how you figure the 17.56? How is it figured? Because yeah.
I think we
Okay.
just explained it. Do you want?
Okay.
Is there anything additional that you want to know about that?
7 point. And you said your new proposal was 7.78?
Yes.
Correct?
Yep.
Okay.
Over that.
Yeah.
Yep, 7.78%. The new proposal is over that, so it adds up to 18.64%
Over the last 2 years.
over the last 2 years for returning teachers.
Okay, so then over the last 2 years, I just want to make sure I have this correct. Over the last 2 years, you said we've had an increase of 18.76%. Is that correct? With the new proposal?
18.64% over 2 years
18.64.
for returning teachers, right? So
that number is right.
if you go to the percents,
Okay. Yep. Right there.
10.86
10.86.
by 6.7.
I do have one question for Vince. When you figured in that 0.2 index increase on 1 through 6, what was the dollar amount that was affected by that?
It's at the bottom of the spreadsheet. I put it as a footer. I think it's 159,000. 192 with benefits. Is it on there, you bet?
It is, yep, I just get. Ms. Fair? I'm speaking on behalf of the team here. We can't accept that because it isn't for everybody. But we are willing to counteroffer again, and we think it's a fair number because of the equivalence of the money. A calculating base of $35,000, which puts a beginning teacher salary at $42,000. It's an increase using that $54,000 of $162,000 on your current proposal. You subtract the $159,000 that you would eliminate by keeping the salary schedule the same, so that everybody is exact. It stays the same. It's actually a net increase of $3,000. I'm sorry.
Just say that sentence again. I'm just going to have you say it again so I could
If
hear
I can remember it.
That part that you were saying saves, but that just that part.
By the $35,000 calculating base and keeping the salary index the same, utilizing the $54,000 multiplied by the $300 increases, it's $162,000. The amount that you have in your total salary increase because of the increase in the salary schedule is $159,628 for $2,372 roughly increase over yours with our new counter proposal. And it would be equal and fair to everybody, all returning teachers, increment teachers, teachers that are that fall in that 6 to 10 or 6 to 15 time frame, and 0 to 6. Everybody would see that increase in that amount. So we're talking $2,000, a little over $2,000.
And not only that, we wouldn't be messing with a salary schedule that we spent countless hours to get equal cell changes, both vertical and horizontal, so that in future years we're not coming back trying to equal out a salary schedule again. I really don't know that anyone at this table wants to come back and revisit that animal and hash it out like we did 2 years ago.
And I do want to, for the record here, to say, you've come up, and we appreciate the negotiation that we've had, but we have come down a lot. We want this to end. We want a contract.
We'd have to agree with you.
We do too.
I guess the ball's in your court.
So can I, if I want, just can restate what your offer is? You're saying the calculating base of $35,000, keep the index the same.
Yep.
Absolutely.
That's simple, 2 things.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, we just need a couple minutes then, if that's all right. We'll take another break.
Just let us know when you're ready.
Yeah, okay. Wait. I was going to say that.
No, you're right. Not the board's calculating base is $33,700.
Yeah, it can't be 42,000 versus 41,100. No, that's why we have to say we looked at it. We don't have authorization from the whole board. We have to have another special meeting, and then we'll get the numbers right.
Where he got here $2,000. No, it's all fabricated.
Yep.
And maybe ask him to clarify.
He said a calculating base of $45,000.
335. No, 350. Times 262.65 times 54. Comes, well, that can't be right. 350,262.65.
That they're made up.
We can try it, I mean, we can ask them to now. We got 10 more minutes. We can meet a little bit longer. We will have to have a meeting.
Yeah, just tell them that we're not authorized to go any higher than what we're at. We'll have to have a special session. We also want to finish this as soon as possible, but then that gives Vince to get all the numbers. Let's see where we're at.
See, here's where, okay, here's where we were at. And then we went to here. So the difference between the two is from here to here.
Whoa. Total money, that's a lot.
55,000, I can't read it. 551,600, right? And they're only saying 192.
That gets to our 1.2 that
We're really getting that 192,000 in new money as well.
It's down here with the,
No, on what? They offered us 162,000 on top of what? But on a okay. They just said on top of our offer, it's only 162 new money. It's $900 just for a new teacher times 262 is 235,000. So their numbers are way off.
they just shot from the
Yeah, so let's just send one out. We can get the numbers before the next board meeting.
With our calculations, we can't come up with a $2,000 difference. So we need to take some time, have the assistant superintendent run the numbers. And we suggest that the DEA go back and run their numbers. Because we're not going to resolve the monetary difference at this time.
It's not 2,000.
Do we want to say that, or just say we're not authorized to go anywhere? We got to have a special meeting.
Yeah,
and now we can just get the numbers. We want to end on a good point. We don't want to get
well, I think the best thing,
yeah. We want to just tell them. Yeah, because we're not authorized to go any higher.
It's more than what the executive session authorized. It's a hell of a
And we can figure out the numbers.
You know, as a point of reference, Jason and Chris, when you talked at the executive session, 70%, I calculated that it would need to be at a base of 34,100.
They're asking for even more than what normal. What the state.
They're asking for 900.
And the state did away with that because they know schools can't afford that. I mean, that'd be easy. Okay, you want me to do this? I can do that.
okay, well, we want to say that we need to run the numbers.
No. Like Vincent, we want to end on a good note. So we're going to say we're not authorized to go. Obviously, we had an executive board meeting. We're not authorized to go any higher, so we do have to. But we want to get this resolved as soon as you guys do also. So we also appreciate the fact that we have made it a lot closer. Our numbers are a lot closer together than that they were 2 weeks ago. Want to do that?
Yes.
Okay.
And then I think we want to say what I would want to do, let me get back to my agenda here, I might have my agenda. So then you can say that, I want to say we're all interested in selling the contracts for holiday season, we want to get the teachers paid on the schedule.
So on our end, we're going to have an executive session as soon as possible.
We will call a special school board meeting to discuss.
If they can do any kind of math on that, they know that for
Right.
We're good. I'll do that. So I'm going to say, I get to do my hair. Yeah. Okay. Yep.
Say that, and then I'll go to this and say, well, then what are we going to do about the next meeting? Do we want to say, we want to tentatively set a meeting, or we're going to have a meeting next Friday? I think we should go ahead.
As soon as we can have a meeting, we'll
I'll go into that, we'll just say when it would normally be. Okay. You guys ready?
Yep.
Okay, we'll bring the session back to order, please. Thank you.
Okay. we're extremely happy. We're a lot closer than we were 2 weeks ago. So this has been a lot better than I thought it was going to be tonight, sitting here for the first time.
Yes, thank you.
So obviously at our executive session meeting, we were authorized a certain level where we could go to. And I'm sure you guys know that. So we will have to meet again at an executive session and see as a board where how far we can go.
Okay.
And then put some of these numbers together, just have time to look at them. So, and we're excited to get this done as soon as you guys are too. So, with that, I'll let Chris.
Yep.
And, you know, we did calculations quick here, so they might not be exact. I mean, we need to run through them too and make sure, because, you know, it may be wrong, but.
There's a reason why I'm a history teacher.
Mr. Schwartz is still here. Maybe he wants to run it for you. All right. Well, just like you are, the board's definitely interested in settling the contract. And we're thinking and talking here, the holidays are coming up. We want to get the teachers paid on the current salary schedule. Before Christmas. Yeah, well, before Christmas. And we've done a little talking with Mr. Reap about what that's going to look like. But if we just take a look at our calendars, we go back to the agenda that we set the next meeting. Normally we'd be meeting a week from today, which is the day before Thanksgiving. So I just want to see what your thoughts are on that meeting.
Well, I know I won't be able to attend because I have state certification exams in Bismarck for my program for national certification, so I'll be gone for professional leave Wednesday.
So we'd have to do it next week.
So you're thinking, well, are you thinking you'd like to meet the next Wednesday, or do you want?
Well, unless we'd meet like Monday or Tuesday next week, if that works.
Yeah, Tuesday.
You would look at your calendar? Tuesday won't work for us.
Unless we do it in the morning, but that's all I can.
Okay, let me look at, are you free Monday? Just give us a second here, we'll look at our calendars.
Monday night.
I'm totally free Monday. Totally free Monday.
Okay. If that works for us.
Monday?
Yeah.
Free Monday?
Skip's coming, it's fine.
Yep.
Whatever it is, it is.
Monday, 7.
Monday at 7?
Here?
Monday night.
Yep.
You're thinking Monday night?
Yep. At 7 here, if
We
possible.
could meet earlier.
Or earlier,
You want to make
6:30.
it earlier better for you?
That gives you a little
How are
time.
we doing with sports season? Can we meet earlier?
Yeah, I'm out of sports season.
Well,
Doug's
Doug
got meetings.
has a meeting, so.
Yeah, we're done.
That's
Tom,
7.
Tom, do you have practice?
I have practice in the morning and then after school I could be done.
Would you be done by 6?
Okay, so 7.
7 o'clock.
7 o'clock?
How long is your meeting going to last?
I'll probably be done by 5.
Oh, so you're
It's that day.
Do you want to go? Okay, so what time do you want to go? Do you want to do 7, 6?
7's fine. He's got some sports thing. He gets done at 6.
You got
I've got to give him time to get up by 7.
Okay. Are we all right, Mr. Wolf?
Yes,
Okay, so it would be Monday, the 24th
yes.
at 7 p.m. Okay, Monday, the 24th, 7 p.m. We'll check the schedule for Hagen to make sure that room's available. Otherwise, just watch,
Yep,
or just keep in touch with Mrs. Peterson so we
Yep.
know.
she's good about getting emails out early, so,
Okay. And the DEA will be chairing?
okay,
That'll be...
I'll be
You'll
sharing.
be chairing, Mr. Wolf. All right, and then can we set the agenda, what we're going to talk about?
I would say it'll be a mirror of today's agenda.
Okay, so we'll have basically the same agenda that we have
Yes.
today? All right. All right, is there anything further, Mr. Wolf?
No, I would just like to thank the board for everything that's happened today, and
Likewise.
Likewise, I want to thank you as well. There's a lot of frustrations that come with negotiations, but I really feel like we made a lot of progress and we're able just to consider some things and see each other's point of view, which is really important.
yes, it is.
All right. All right, thank you, and
Thanks.
then we would be adjourned. Thank you.
Yep, thank you, good night. Never the sounds we like to hear. Never the sounds we all like to hear.
Hey, we're adjourned. Yay.